Welcome back, everyone. Mike DiMuccio here, your host for Aligning with Success. I was explaining to a prospect today who was over looking at Nikan. I think more than looking, I think they made the decision to join Sophia's group, her first enrollee. Great gal and very excited. And I was explaining to her that I have a call to create the synergy of the group that I call Aligning with Success. And I explained what I meant by that. First and foremost, what we mean by success. And the definition I bring in this call and to my life is the one that I got from my sponsor, or excuse me, my mentor, Bob Proctor, who got it from his mentor, Earl Nightingale, who said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So as long as you are moving towards something worthy of you, that's success. And then a worthy ideal, Bob explained to me, was something that that's worth trading your life for. And so when I consider the 5 pillars of wellness as the thing I'm trading my life for, in other words, every minute of every day, I hope that I'm moving toward a more fulfilling expression of those 5 pillars of wellness. And therefore that's worthy of my life. And it's the movement or the direction of that guides me in terms of my definition of success. So I'm either on course or I'm off course. And depending on whether you're on course or off course at any given moment in time, determines your degree of success at any given moment in time. So success is not a destination, but in fact, a direction. And it's governed by principle. And so I found one of the things that make my commitment to building this business and my own ongoing commitment to serving the community is this definition. It's so ingrained in me, it's so locked in me that it's very easy for me to be critical of my own analysis. I can check on my personal story at any point in time and saying, is my compass heading in the right direction or not? And so that's something that I find brings greater meaning to every moment of our days and of my day. And it also helps me be an acknowledgement of my success. Meaning, success is not something I did. It's not something I was once a part of. It's a present moment. And so we give ourselves credit the right way if we are presently engaged, if we are currently moving in the direction towards the fulfillment and further expression of our purpose. So that by that standard, then, if we looked at who we listen to in the world, who would you give your mind to in the world in any field, regardless of how acclaimed they are? You'd probably dismiss 99% of every voice you've ever entertained in the last 2 years as non-credible, non-definitions of success. They're fraud because they are relying on the laurels of their past and not reflective of the current standard. So, interesting point of view. And I think a point of view that needs to be taught to everybody and reminded to everybody that if we are not holding people accountable to their current method of operation, their current metric of success, what is their current definition of the direction they're heading in, then there's no way of us knowing to what degree they're successful. So I think it's really important that you have a great appreciation for your own commitment to success, being the day-by-day, moment-by-moment choices you make that are either in alignment with or out of alignment with your expression of fulfillment of purpose. I'm just going to mute that line, it's back feeding. So take that with a grain of salt, because I do believe that we all have our own definition. But if you like that definition and you want to adopt that definition, I encourage you to. I haven't heard a better one yet. And as I said, I think it's one of the things that make me rock solid in Nikken, and why people over the years have turned to me or looked to me for leadership and guidance, is because I'm led by and guided by this fundamental core value, this core principle of what I consider success to be. And so even though I have had tremendous results in my business, there were moments in time that I was a total failure. Even though I had the pin, I had the paycheck, I had the accolades, I would consider, by the definition I've given you, my life at that moment in time, or my experience of it, being a failure. So again, it's not something we get to ride on the coattails of some past situation. It's every day. You're alive today to live today, not yesterday. So if today is not a meaningful day, if not a useful day, a purposeful day, then you've wasted today. It's another day and of the days of your life. And so that one's gone. So a standard by which we measure success, being present, current, is the only one that matters, because you can't really do anything about yesterday. And there's nothing to do about tomorrow except what you do right now. So it's only right now that you have the ability to make any difference anyway. We might as well have some principle that aligns with that, that says, with what I'm doing right now aligns with my projected vision and purpose, and aligns with those governing principles of what I consider an exchange for my life: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, healthy finances. If what I'm doing right here, right now is a good exchange, I'm in alignment with that, then do it. It makes the decision so easy. It makes it simple to identify whether you're on the right track or not. Anyways, enough about that. Thanks for joining me this evening, everyone. I want to first of all congratulate the past for a moment, because we had a great month in May, and I know, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the last call, and I congratulated Leo in the top spot. But I did want to share with you something that I do for Canada, for my team in Canada. You might want to think about doing this. I learned this a long time ago, that what you measure matters. In other words, it only matters if you measure it. And if you're not measuring it, it really means it doesn't matter. You can't fool that. So what you measure matters. Therefore, start measuring those things that actually bring value to your business. And some of the things that I measure, there's only a couple of things that I'm looking at right now and that I measure. And so what you measure matters, but what you measure and recognize multiplies. And so I started doing this, now maybe 2 years ago, maybe not quite 2 years ago, but maybe early last year. And I decided that I would do something. I borrow a page from my past when I would publish some type of a statistic. And I got, actually, to be honest, I got this information from other leaders in Nikken, particularly the Williams, who were doing this. I thought that's a really good thing to do, to give recognition to people who are doing the work, who are aligned with success, who are actually demonstrating right here and right now, rather than recognize their pin, which is a recognition of a past effort. I'm going to recognize their current behavior and the things that have come to the surface of our mind or attention in Nikken is what current behaviors are really showing proper business etiquette, proper business ethics. You know what's the metric that's worth measuring? And many of you have listened to Leo's conversations where he talks about 500 points volume in the month, and then going for Club Ki. So starting with the 500 points per month, I started doing this, measuring this about a year and a half or so ago. And what has been happening, I wanted to share with you, is so exciting, because when I started doing this, I'm really lousy, by the way, at trying to figure out how to make columns in Word. I for the life of me, haven't got a clue how I haven't got this far, but somehow I manage. And every month I have to take from the report, figure out who's on this chart. And this chart represents the people who in Canada, in my group in Canada, that's all this is measuring, hit at least 500 points in volume. This is the first month. have a look at this. There are 4 columns, and there were 17 people per column, and I couldn't fit all the people in the 4 columns. This is the first time I actually filled out 4 columns, but not only that, I had to extend the list down 3 more levels so that I could put 20 people per column so that I could get everybody who did 500 points in Canada on this list. So if next month is another record-breaking month, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't have any more room on this chart. So this is a good problem to have, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
What's really exciting is that what we're seeing here is growth. And this is the 5th straight month of this year. Congratulations to everyone who's participating and contributing to this. And also congratulations to Luis Kasuga and his team at Niken, because it's the effectiveness of the things that the incentives and so forth, the energy, the fabric of Niken is making it possible for people to be inspired in a different way, and it's producing results, especially the specials and the offers that are coming, and I think it's really, really great for us. So 5th straight record month, again, 4 columns, and now there's 20 people per column, first time ever. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Mary Robson, who is our top PPV for May in Canada. And then if I slide down, the second thing that I'm measuring is PGV. Notice those are the 2 things that are in your report. If you go to your Niken report, you see PPV, your personal volume, which is a reflection of essentially your retail business. And then your PGV, which is a reflection of your team, your group, your new team, because it doesn't include silvers in your organization. So this is your PGV, which is essentially your group volume combined with your personal volume. And what you see here, now, this is the first time all 10, in fact, there were more than 10. I think there was almost 20 people who hit over 3,000 points volume PGV. There was no way to fit more than the 10. I only do the top 10, but this is the first time the top 10 were up in the 3,000s. And if you can see also now, this is the first time in a long time, yours truly, Good Vibrations International, was relegated to the 2nd column. And I think that's cool. I don't want to be number 1 or number 2. I would rather more people in my organization were that. So there I am in 9th spot, but who's number 1? Leo LeMay. Congratulations, Leo. You're in our top spot in the month of May. And so this kind of gives you an idea of the ranks and the people and the volume that's being generated by these individuals. So you have something to look at, something to base your performance against. And I think it's important because you need to know where you stand. There it is. Over 23 people achieved over 2,000 PGV. And I think it was something like 18 or something that hit 3,000. So it was really a barn buster month. And again, this is like month after month after month. So I'm super, super excited to see not only everybody who's actually hitting these numbers, but the fact that those numbers continue to grow. And Barb was on that list. I think you were number 3, right, Barb? On the PGV, I think I saw 4th, number 4. Congratulations. So anyway, just something to think about, something to consider measuring in your own business, and maybe even recognizing in your own business, even if it starts with 1 column or just, a few names. One of the things that I saw that really, really impressed me from Latin America when I was doing my homework as to what were they doing was this recognition. Their recognition is extraordinary. They never lose an opportunity to recognize people for the effort they're making. And I just thought, if it's such a simple thing to do, it costs nothing, but such an important thing to do when you consider not that many people are recognized for the goodness they do or the good they do, especially in the work environment. So if you make that part of your business agenda, that is something that you do on a monthly basis, even if it's your own scorecard, what you measure matters, what you measure and recognize multiplies. So just a golden principle. And once again, I've proven to myself the theory is not just a theory, but it's actually a principle with what we're seeing. So I want to encourage you all to make a point of doing that. The other thing I wanted to mention before we move on is, don't forget, I know you didn't and you won't, but this coming June 19 is Seiko Kai. And given what we talked about over the last week, especially how a lock-in event is an event that connects people to the bigger picture, the bigger story, and helps them to cement in their own mind the possibility of Nikken as an opportunity. This event will be a fantastic event for you to help people who are in process to really make a commitment. And for those who are already registered, to go beyond registering and maybe make a serious commitment to doing something and starting to be somebody who's got scores on your scorecard. So lock-in events are critical events. You have more than enough time to start your campaign to promote that event. I know it seems like sometimes you got so many things to promote, but these are the big rocks in the calendar. They're in this printed calendar because it's a big rock. It's one of those important things that should be in your calendar every single month. So just a reminder that this is an important event for you and for your guests. So make a point of inviting your guests to it. Okay. Let's see. We last week introduced you to, or reintroduced the process. And I introduced you to a page on the Royal Alliance /a-better-way. And I made a slight modification to it. I just wanted to share with you because I think it makes more sense. And again, this modification was due to my girls' input. Let me find my page. There it is. And let me share screen to this page. Okay, here we go. Don't you hate it when somebody tells you what they're doing? But I just find it makes, then you know what I'm doing. I'm not just leaving you. Okay, so here we are. This is the page. It's called, you'll find it at theroyalalliance.com/a-better-way. So what I did was I modified the text, the script in the introduction here so that it's a little bit more appropriate for somebody you're sending to this for the first time. It says, welcome to the Nikken community. We are looking to serve people who are passionate and driven about their health and those who would enjoy empowering others to be healthy through a successful, sustainable, service-oriented business. So it really tells you right up front why we're doing what we're doing, who we are, right? As you go through the following information, it'll become more apparent how an involvement with Nikken directly or indirectly can contribute in many positive ways to an improvement in quality of life. Documents and YouTube links below offer a glimpse into a better way to define and achieve success through our philosophy of a life in balance, health and wealth by choice, not by chance. Pretty good, huh? Really sort of sets up the tone for who we are, what we're about, why we do what we're doing. And then you can go into the videos and so forth, and they haven't changed. If you haven't seen this first video, by the way, Nikken and the 5 Pillars of Wellness, have a look at it. It's an old one, but a goodie, you know, an oldie, but a goodie. It really is. And I've always really liked that video. And I always convinced myself, oh, nobody's going to sit through a 7 or an 8 minute video. That's what I started convincing myself of when I started promoting the shorter ones. But my girls convinced me that this was way more to the point and way more appealing to them. And since I'm looking to appeal to them, I thought I would take their advice. So that's some feedback for you as well. If there's a video that you're really passionate about, that you've seen, that you really, really like, and you think turns you on, that's a video you want to share. So whether you share it alongside this page or before or after as a follow-up, I always like sending follow-ups. So it's a good idea to have some videos standing by as follow-ups. And the ones that I usually put on the sidelines for follow-up are either a network marketing video. So a few that were released recently on the tools chat in WhatsApp is Why Network Marketing by Eric Worre. That's a really, really excellent one. There's also one by Richard Brooke. I forget the title of that one. Maybe somebody remembers the title of the one from Richard Brooke, but these really hit to the point of why network marketing. So if you have, for instance, a network marketing comment or objection, and then of course, anything that might have a product story. There's one that I really, really love. And maybe I should fire this off to you guys if I haven't already. It's a woman who has a cane, and when she walks into, and then she gets up and she does this, she just made us all laugh. And she had the Nikken tape on her knee, and she's now walking without a cane. And it's just so exciting the way she talks and how she talks. And it's just fun. It's altogether fun and believable. So sometimes you want to have that kind of a video to share with people to say, this is fun, this is incredible, and wow, can you see why we might be excited about this? And she's only wearing the tape on her knee. Imagine everything else. And then she's what's this called? And it's just, it's a great video. I'll definitely share it tonight, and that way you'll have it in the tools chat and the other chat with the recording of this video, so you know what I'm talking about. Just fun. So if you have some stuff that you're collecting, I highly recommend that you make it a favorite on your YouTube channel, because chances are you didn't produce it. It was produced by somebody. So if you have a Google account, a Gmail account, then you automatically have a Google YouTube channel. Figure that out, look it up online, ask Google, and start using your own YouTube account to start curating videos that you like, and you can make your own playlists. So for instance, my favorites. So if I come across something that I didn't publish, but I think ought to be there, I make it a favorite, and then it shows up in my favorites list. So I have a simple way of finding videos that are favorited, and I can then share. So that's another trick of the trade. All right, so here we have this page that I think does more than enough to present a good case for why Nikken is a great means to an end. This particular video, the December 19 video, is a really, really great video. It's more recent, and it just covers, again, the story of Nikken. Ben, I think, does the cover of A Better Way, and some great stories, some really great personal stories. So I think this page, if all you did was jump up and down and do whatever it is that you had to do to get somebody through this information, regardless of how much resistance you might meet, but you got them through this information, I can't imagine even the most hardcore person not bending a little, because it's really good stuff. So you now have a resource, a one-stop shop, to really make a case for how Nikken, the how conversation, how Nikken can maybe be a means to an end for the people you're talking with. So having said that, I don't think I have anything else to add. I wanted to get some feedback. Yeah, Barb?
I have sent the document out after you posted it last week. I love the new introduction. I think that's fabulous, Mike. I haven't had any pushback at all. I've had every positive comment you can imagine. No one said any of the videos were too long. They found the information relevant, important, and answered a lot of their questions that I didn't have to answer, which I have had to in the past.
That's cool.
So
wow.
I've had really, really positive feedback. And the thing is, they got into it within 24 hours of me sending it to them. There wasn't any delay. Whereas sometimes you'll send something and you follow up with them. Well, they haven't had time to look at it, or they haven't had time to read the document, and it might be 2 or 3 days later. Every single one of them was within 24 hours.
Barb, was that prefaced by the contact and invite approach?
Yeah, my contact and invite approach.
Okay. So just to say that there is something you first initiated with them in the way of contact to invite them into the information that was compelling. Did that include a possible motive on their part?
It was a combination of people that I didn't even know who. I mentioned last week how I was reintroducing myself to some people.
Yes.
I sent it out to some of those people. And I also sent it out to some inactive consultants. And I got positive feedback from them as well. And questions from them, it's like a light's going on and there's a renewed interest. They haven't committed yet, but there's a renewed interest. And I'm just going to keep following up with them and answering any questions they come up with and see where it leads.
Fantastic. I'm going to add to this page, by the way, a link to, some of you may have seen, I'll bring it up in a second. I want to hear from Paul Gabius. I'll show you what else I've got in store for this page so that if you want to place a greater emphasis on the water and have something that really helps present a nice package for the water. I haven't got the shower testimonies yet. We're gonna have to do a contest for that one. But you'll see what I'm saying in a minute. It'll be generic. There will not be a buy now button, so it won't lead to anybody's PWP. It'll just be a page, a little microsite on water so that people can learn a bit more about the water, that you can just reference, just send them the link and then they come back to you and they place an order in your PWP. Paul Gabius. Thanks, Barbara.
Hey, Mike. I think my new consultant is on tonight, Viviana. I sent her that link yesterday. Now she's a consultant and is interested in water and creating some income for herself. And I think it's an excellent link. It's just a link that sends them right away to a bunch of information that people can explore. And I just love the language of the Royal Alliance. And so I'm dealing with a career fair this summer online at the National Federation of the Blind Convention. And I've just modified the language of what the mission of the Royal Alliance is. We had 200 words, I think. So I made it fit, but we're really looking for leaders. And I think it's important to state that right from the get-go, because who doesn't want to be a leader in something, you know? So I think it's great.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, I've got my work cut out for me because many of the pages on the Royal Alliance need to be processed the same way, cleaned up and videos discarded and stuff. And I haven't gotten to that yet, but I
noticed you changed the language, but
yeah,
what I had sent, well, it might have switched midstream, but anyway, as you had said last week, it doesn't matter, just start using it. And I have, and I'm super excited about it.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Let me just share, if somebody else wants to jump in, I want to this part of the call to be totally feedback, but let me just share with you quickly. Thanks, Paul. What I'm talking about with respect to the page that I'm adding. I'll let you know as soon as I know that it's ready, but it'll be this page. So this is a microsite that basically introduces them. They click on whichever one they're interested in knowing more about. So let's say it's the waterfall. So they'll click onto the waterfall and you should see that come up. So imagine there's no buy now button here. That's the only thing that's going to be eliminated. And then as they go through this page, they get all the videos that are related, the short one, the long one, and they get a proper understanding of the value proposition. Clean alkaline water for 10 cents a liter. For the Americans, it's 38 cents a gallon. Good for your health, good for your wallet, good for the planet. And as they go through this, they learn more and more about the value of Pyamag water. And then at the bottom, there's all those wonderful testimonials. These are the top 5 testimonials from our contest. So that gives them something to review. They're all short and sweet and to the point. And so here is your page that I think really impresses upon them what's so important about this. I may have to drop this part because this is specific to the people who are promoting it. I will, the final edit will be done and I will leave what I have to leave out and in what I have to leave in. So I may in fact convert it'll show the Canadian and US pricing on this as well. So I think it's just a really great way to send somebody to of course, this is everything in your water pack, right? The microjet shower, the waterfall sport bottle. So this will help also, I think, promote the water pack for getting started. And I think that'll be a really useful tool as well for many of you to have it all in sort of one nicely packaged place.
Looks
So, yeah.
fabulous, Mike. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You know what I like about this, Mike?
Talk to me.
It's duplicatable. I can send people there. They can send people there. They can send people there.
Yeah.
And that's what this should be all about, is duplication.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to be
I shouldn't
expert presenters.
I shouldn't have to set up my own website, and my friends shouldn't have to set up their own websites. This is duplicatable.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, you know what I like, Wes? I like red on you. You look really good in red.
Especially when it says Deacon on it, right?
Yeah. Wait,
Was
I have a
looking- Earlier today, Wes was looking for how a man should use true elements, Mike. So you might want to give a little class on that. He has it and he hasn't used it yet.
Oh, okay. Are you asking me to give the class or for Wes to give the
Oh,
class?
you're the male. No, Wes doesn't know how to use it. He says only women know how to
Wes,
use it.
how you use it is every day.
No. You know, most of what I've seen on any of the products is the quality of each product, and everybody seems to assume when to use the product.
Mm.
Do I use it before I go to bed? Do I use it when I get up in the morning? Should I be
My
wearing-
personal use is after I shower. I put it on after I shower and it serves me for the day.
use all the products?
Oh, you're talking about the skin, the True Elements, right?
I'm talking about all of the True Elements.
Okay, well, I don't use all of the True Elements. I use my primary two favorites is the toner, or the you know, the one that's the pump bottle. I forget what's called. And I know I use more than you're supposed to. The serum. I know I use more than I'm supposed to because my girls tell me all the time, you're not supposed to use that much, Papa. And I'm like, well, it's on auto ship, so I got to use it. So I use it. I put it here. I put it where the wrinkles are, essentially, and under the neck. So that's where I put the serum primarily. And then I use the one in the jar.
Nourishing cream.
Thank you, the nourishing cream. And that I use the paddle, put a little bit in my hand, and then just massage it in, and that's it. That's what I do, and I'm good for the day. And don't I look great?
Thanks. Gotta stay older than 25.
Okay, so Mike, you don't use the cleanser?
I don't personally, but my girls do. So we have everything coming in because everybody uses everything, but I've never made a habit of using a cleanser. Just maybe not a habit yet. Yeah. Maybe they'll convince me to try the cleanser, and then we'll add that to the regimen. But I do have, but I really hope we get that shower gel back, because that was a staple in my shower. I love the shower gel as well. So maybe we can twist a few arms there. All right.
And I have a couple of customers that's the only shower gel they're able to use.
My daughter being one of them. She's got very sensitive skin. So it has a question here. Dear Mike, do you have a suggestion to start a conversation with somebody on LinkedIn or on Facebook? By the way, I think Ben is a person to ask about the LinkedIn. I think he's a pro on LinkedIn or on Facebook in order to talk about Nikken. Yeah, okay. So we were just having a conversation at dinner about Facebook in particular, or social media in general. And my girls were talking about, particular Sophia, that she's not really seeing social media as her avenue for doing business, other than for creating relationships. So if we look at social media as, strip out the business for a second and just say it's a place to meet people of common interests. And so how do you gather people of common interests? Well, when you start posting stuff about stuff you're interested in, you're going to naturally get responses from people who are interested in that stuff. And one way to reach an audience of people that is not your current audience of friends is to put a hashtag in your message. So if you put a hashtag in Facebook, for instance, healthy horses, hashtag healthy horses, or hashtag whatever, it's a point of interest. The idea here, and this is something that's really interesting, my girls have really picked up on this. What they're finding is what they want in their Nikken business is a tribe, a grouping of people who share the same interests, the same values, who are already predispositioned toward health and healthy solutions. So they're not looking to convince anybody. They're simply looking to attract people who want a better way. There's some news for you. So they're not looking to convert anybody. They're simply looking to gather those who are like mind and show them a better way. And so these people are already 1 foot in the door when they come to the meeting, to the message. And therefore they're just sharing with them personal experience, and the way they speak about Nikken and what it's meant to them is extremely appealing. So right now, I would say if you look at social media as a way to connect with people and start building relationships, then you'll take that conversation offline. You'll start going into messaging people and talking to them more about what they do. And I'll tell you, I think Leo does a lot of that as well. So maybe Leo has a comment. Leo, do you have any thoughts about how to maybe work your magic on Facebook? How you get the conversation started?
Yeah, just began with the conversation, okay? But I don't have any, I have to join it, I have to talk about product. I just speak with her, how are you? What's happened with last year with the pandemic, etc., etc. Till she asked me, and you, Leo, what you do? Yes, that's what I want. I just talk until she asked me or he asked me, and you, what's happened with you?
That's a really good point, by the way, that Leo's bringing up, because the thing that we all share in common right now with everybody on Facebook is we all went through a pandemic. So we already have a common interest, a common point of communication. So to ask them, what's been your experience of that? There's your starting point. And that can lead into all the issues we address. Good one, Leo. See, he's got the answers. Oops, you're on this side. He's got all the answers. Madeline, you had your hand up. Thanks, Leo.
Yes, I've used LinkedIn several times, and recently a very good Guatemalan original family parents. He was born right after mom and dad came here. And one phone conversation, went to their home yesterday and did 2 3-ways with Patty Sutcliffe and Bo Tanis, and very good progress from just one phone call after one LinkedIn, one text back and forth or message back and forth, and then the home visit and rollouts to both the 53-year-old son and his 81-year-old mom. And that mother just kept interrupting. Bo said, well, let me talk to Eduardo, and she's giving all the orders, and he said, I told you after, she and dad are the entrepreneurial spirit. He wasn't quite a believer, being more traditional Western medicine, and but was a believer, just getting up after that rollout, being able to move a shoulder and watching what happened to his mother. So it was a pretty exciting experience.
That's a really good point, by the way, Madeline. Thanks for bringing that up. That came up today while we were meeting with a prospect. And first thing we did is let her try the water. So let's introduce her. So she was showing the wellness home. She went around the house and we went into the kitchen. She tried the water immediately. She could tell the difference. It tastes different. We talked about the water. She's super excited. She sees Sophia smartly asked, can you see other people who need this? And she says, yeah, like everyone, my friend, my boyfriend that did. And so it's already, the wheels are turning. And I said, here, let me show you something that launched this company. And I got the pair of insoles out. And I said, this is like 4th or 5th generation. And I threw them on the ground and I did the balance test. And it was instant. And she's like, wow. And we talked about, harmony with nature, the idea of being connected with nature is something of a foreign thing these days. You can't walk around barefoot all day, but with these in your shoes, you got some help. And the product demos take this conversation to a different level. It's not about getting them hyped up. It's about getting their limbic system engaged, meaning their emotional body, their truth meter. When you get that engaged, then they come out of that meeting with an impression that is beyond words. It's a feeling, a knowing. And so whatever you've talked about up until that point, whatever you talk about after that point is true. Why is it true? Because they just experienced the truth within themselves. So whenever possible, if ever possible, get that product demo to happen. The sooner you get that product demo to happen, the more real this becomes to somebody and the easier it is to have a conversation about it. So
The other thing, Mike, was that immediate ABC. I showed a little TNG Zoom with Veronica, got the attention before the 2 rollouts, and then the mother laying down and getting Bo on the phone. And then I got Patty Sutcliffe on, and Patty said, is she there? And I said, yeah, they're right here. So she immediately started talking in Spanish. That was it.
yeah,
You know, it was just right then and there, while she
Yeah.
was still laying face down.
because you're a gringo and she's not. And so you match the B with the C. When you match the B with this, or yeah, it's the B with the C. Wait a minute, is the ABC? So no, you match the A with the C, correction. You match the third party credibility with the person you're trying to impress upon. You make that connection. You're the B, you make the connection between the A and the C. And if you match them, you jump, you know, it's a quantum leap. So if they're the same nationality, if they're the same religion, if they're this, whatever, they have this common point of interest, this common place of understanding that you know has another level altogether in terms of impacting credibility. So these are all, and by the way, none of what we're talking about here, nothing that I've said that you've seen tonight, which is everything about the business, is difficult. None of this is rocket science. It's just show and tell. It's just show and tell at a level of authenticity that people would appreciate. That's it. And so at the end of the day, what determines the numbers on the scorecard? It's really simple, isn't it? It's the number of people we show and tell. And if you make it simple, effortless, natural, organic, don't complicate it, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, be a human being first, connecting with a human being, and all the rest will follow. And I think you'll find that there's less pressure, more responsiveness to it, because people get a sense. They get a sense of whether you're being authentic. If you really are interested in their well-being, they'll get a sense immediately, don't you? Can't you tell if somebody's trying to pitch you or sell you versus somebody's really interested in what's going on? You can tell. You got a bullshit meter like everybody else does. So just trust that they got it too, and just be straight up and authentic, and they will respect that. Okay, well, I think we got one more, Barb, and then we can wrap up.
Regarding the question about how to approach people on Facebook, people do not want to be sold to. So you can invite somebody to be a friend, or you can accept a friend request. Either way, start a conversation with them. Build that relationship. Don't talk about your business initially. It might take 3 or 4 days. It might happen in one day. You don't know. But build that conversation, because eventually they are going to ask you what you do. The other thing that works on Facebook is doing live videos, but don't show the product and don't mention the company name. Mention the benefits that you have achieved from a product, and people will reach out to you and want to know more. That's how I have acquired new customers from Facebook and new consultants. And Ruth Lowe, she's had success with doing similar things with groups. Groups are something else to explore. You know, find a group that you're passionate about and strike up a conversation. Don't just accept a friend without responding, thanking them for asking you to be their friend and maybe say something along the lines, I look forward to getting to know you better. What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. It works, but people do not want to be sold to if they think you're pitching them on a product right then and there. And sometimes you'll be on a group and somebody asks you to be their friend and you accept their friend request and they're immediately pitching you. I just block them. I'm not interested.
No.
And I know a number of others do as well. So just build that relationship and keep it going.
Thanks, Barb. You know, one of the things that I think people are responding to right now as well is your passion. When they get a sense of how passionate you are about what you're talking about. This is one of the mentions of today's conversation with this young lady who's 22 years old. And she was just about jumping off the sofa. She was so excited. I mean, literally, like, and the comments she was making, why she was excited was because of what she was experiencing in terms of the authenticity of what we represent and what exactly it is. Her ability to see it and recognize it and value it. And so and she mentioned the passion, just the way you feel about what you're talking about. And so that really does matter. It does connect. So whatever you got to do to remind yourself of why you're doing this, why are you doing this business? And the why doesn't have to be, I had this long conversation with Dave Rolfe last week, and we're going back and forth by text messages with the why. People, need a want, why, and the want, and the want, and the why, and the why, and the want. And I was arguing for the why, he was arguing for the want. And I said, look, they're intrinsically connected. You got to want something, but if you don't know why you want it, then it's not going to really have the horsepower. So yeah, you do have to want something. You got to spell it out, because you won't get out of bed if you don't want something. You won't do the work if you don't want something, especially if the work is somewhat inconvenient. You got to want something. But why you want it is infinitely more powerful. For instance, you could say, I want $5,000 a month. Okay, why? When you translate that into a why, now it has some value. Now it has some meaning, because $5,000 a month, I love what my Sophia got something locked in her head. She memorizes things like instantly. So she was on a call with Luis Kasuga, our CEO, and he said, there's money everywhere, but purpose is not everywhere. It's rare. You can find money anywhere, but you can't find purpose everywhere. So the idea that the why is the purpose. So the want, yeah, you can find money elsewhere. 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 1,000 a month, 500 a month, whatever. My niece just made $700 her first 2 weeks. She's excited. She's just, that's pretty cool for somebody who's just starting a small business. So the want is the money or the whatever, but why you want it is what connects the emotion. And when the person's connected emotionally, they emote. So it's really, really important we have that part of the equation. And so connect to your why. Figure out what your want is, but ask yourself why you even want that. And then maybe what's your big why? What's your real motivation? And when you touch bases with that and you realize Nikan is a vehicle to help you get that, and then not only that, but you'll never achieve it on your own. So you'll need to be supported by people who are of like mind and who are equally interested in a want and a why. Then your job is easy. Go find the people out there who want that. That's all it is. Help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. It's just so simple. But why I'm afraid I'm afraid to say the wrong thing. There's no such thing as the wrong thing to the right person. Paul, you got your hand up.
Yeah, my friend Viviana introduced me to, I think it's called Club World or something. It's a whole audio thing. There's so many people, so many different groups.
Which one are you talking about?
Unbelievable. Clubhouse.
What's it called, Ruth? Clubhouse. It's an app you can put on your phone that connects you to conversations that are happening on. Basically, you could start a conversation, a live conversation about whatever you want, and then people just start joining. Go ahead. Sorry.
The possibilities are unbelievable.
Well, yeah. I mean, can you imagine having a total wellness community conversation or total wellness, or I don't know, freedom, life and freedom. I guess freedom is probably used by a lot of people, but I know law of attraction stuff is up there 24/7, and it's literally 24/7. I had to turn the notifications off. It was driving me nuts. So yeah, it's a great idea for being able to attract people to a conversation, and they're rich. These conversations are rich, and they get some pretty powerful people joining these conversations, big names in industry, icons.
I
And
just
it's
wanted to
only
add,
applicable for iPhones.
that's not true. They just beta tested a
Oh.
few weeks ago. It is available on the Androids now.
All right, excellent. Okay, so, and then Brighteon.social is something like Clubhouse. Mrs. Kramer is sharing with us. Thank you for that. Okay, any other comment before we wrap up? I think tonight's call was a really good one from the point of view of some good tools and tips for growing your platform, your business, your identity, and your ability to express it. So wow, I think this is a keeper. So thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, Madeline, did you have a question? Oh, you're just saying goodbye. Okay, so we'll see you all on Saturday, guys. Bring your guests. Cheers.
Hey.
See you tonight. See you then.
Thanks, Michael.
Good night.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Oh, good one. Thank you.
Yes,
That's a good
happy
one. Happy
Father's
Father's Day
Day.
to all the dads.